Well, I want to talk about birth defects, which we eliminated in the animal industry. That's right. We've eliminated every birth defect you can name and 10 times that many you can't name in the animal industry simply with what we call preconception nutrition. I'm not talking about prenatal vitamins with 12 vitamins and minerals in there. I'm talking about a complete program with over 255 nutrients, including the 90 essential nutrients. And we're talking about the fact that I actually sued the FDA in federal court, and to be able to say that we can prevent neural tube defects by supplementation with folic acid. Now, before I sued them in federal court, you can say eating foods rich in folic acid could reduce the risk of neural tube defects, but you couldn't say supplementation with folic acid. So I had to sue them in federal court and prevailed over the FDA on that subject. 7 other lawsuits, too, in which I prevailed. Well, here's some of the main birth defects. What about Down syndrome? Regardless of what political party you belong to, Sarah Palin, ex-governor of Alaska, a vice presidential candidate for the United States of America, gives birth to a baby with Down syndrome. Her OBGYN should be put in jail for reckless endangerment, okay? Because we've known the cause and prevention of Down syndrome for at least 50, 60 years. Very simply prevented with preconception, complete nutrition. I'm talking about not proteins and fats, but all the known essential nutrients. Very simple disease, and you can look it up in the book, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. Oh, yeah, by me and my wife, Dr. Milan. Rare Earths Forbidden Cures tells you about how to prevent Down syndrome. I even had one case with Evel Knievel's niece-in-law, Lauren Knievel, where she was diagnosed as having an embryo with Down syndrome at 2.5 months pregnancy. We gave her the program. The baby was born normal. Now, that was only one case, but it's kind of interesting to contemplate what might happen if we would treat all early stages of Down syndrome pregnancies with this program. What about, let's see here, what about congenital deafness? Well, we know that's a simple deficiency of manganese. You give every woman manganese before conception, there'll never be another baby born deaf. It's just that simple. What about things like cystic fibrosis and muscular dystrophy? Well, cystic fibrosis, I was actually awarded 2011 the Klaus Schwarz Commemorative Medal for research with trace minerals that benefit humanity. Actually, the research was done, and actually the discovery it was made and published in 1977. That's right. And when I came out with that, and they said, hey, boys and girls, cystic fibrosis is not genetic as you think. It's a simple deficiency of trace minerals early in pregnancy or right after pregnancy when the baby continues to nurse from the mother who's deficient in these trace minerals. It is a reversible thing. You can supplement with these things, and the disease will reverse, and certainly is preventable, 100%. And they fired me because everybody knew it was genetic. Well, guess what? Who prevailed? They're all dead, and I prevailed and got the award. Well, the main thing is that the kids will benefit now because I'm able to talk about this because of the weight of this award. This gives credibility to what I've been saying for 35 years. Well, as a result, my wife and I went to China in 1990. We did 1,200 autopsies, 1,200 autopsies on kids under the age of 10 that died of cardiomyopathy heart disease in Qishan province, China. Every scientist who studies trace minerals knows that Qishan disease is caused by a selenium deficiency. Little or no selenium in the soil in Qishan province of China. A very high percentage of kids who are in subsistence farm families that grow their food, eat only the food grown in their land. There's no selenium in the soil, so they have a very high rate of cardiomyopathy heart disease. Well, if I was correct about cystic fibrosis being caused and prevented by and cured by supplementation with selenium, there should be a lot of these kids that die of cardiomyopathy heart disease, a known selenium deficiency, have cystic fibrosis. 32% had cystic fibrosis. Oh, yeah, by the way, 100% had muscular dystrophy. So we've been working with the Amish communities in Indiana and Illinois and Ohio and Michigan now for about 4 years in a very organized fashion. The first muscular dystrophy kid I cured was 25 years ago maybe 22 years ago in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And, of course, one case like that is kind of interesting. If I was at Harvard Medical School, it'd be published all over the place, but not being from Harvard Medical School, they would just say, well, who knows about the diagnosis? But now that we have hundreds We're getting close to publishing and releasing this to the public, so don't tell anybody you heard about this yet, because it's going to be released to the public here. So don't tell anybody you've heard. We now understand the natural history, what leads up to the cause of muscular dystrophy. We know how to prevent it, and we know how to reverse it. And we've been doing this now for the last few years in communities across the United States, particularly in the Midwest, where the local universities, the state universities that have agricultural departments, do the analyses in the soil. There's little or no selenium in the soil. These people are indigenous farmers. They live exactly on their place. They do not go to town to eat. They do not get groceries from in town. They live off their gardens, and this is why they have such a high percentage of muscular dystrophy, cardiomyopathy, heart disease, and cystic fibrosis. Watch for this story. Don't tell anybody, but just think about it. We now know how to prevent and cure muscular dystrophy. Wow. We'll be back after these messages. Okay, Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us?
That we talk about this Fox News story that's headlined, "Most U.S. Doctors Baffled by Cancer Screening Stats." And what they're talking about here is they say that most U.S. doctors fail to grasp simple statistics about cancer screening, which could boost their enthusiasm for unproven and potentially harmful tests, according to a new poll. They say 3/4 of more than 400-plus doctors that were surveyed believe that better survival rates prove screening is a lifesaver, although that's not the case. They say nearly half thought early detection translates into saving lives, which is another common misconception. According to Dr. Otis Brawley, he's the chief medical officer for the American Cancer Society, says this is really unfortunate because one of the things we always say is to discuss this with your doctor. It says this is evidence that your doctor doesn't know. So the lack of statistical sophistication among doctors is part of the reason why prostate screening became so widespread. Of course, we now know that really does no good at all. In fact, does more harm than good. That actually came out from the government itself recently. So a misunderstanding of statistics has been fueling a great deal of screening, and I suspect that the cha-ching factor may have a little bit to do with that as well. And so, as they say some cases, the slow-growing cancers such as prostate cancer, the tumor might never have bothered the person in the first place, means the screening leads to further tests, which leads to more cost and potential side effects without the benefit to the patient. They say the phenomenon is called overdiagnosis. And they say these new findings are based on the responses of about 412 U.S. primary care physicians surveyed from 2010 to 2011 and published in the Archives of Internal Medicine. Said when they asked them if a better survival rate proves that screening saves lives, less than a quarter of the doctors answered correctly, and that it doesn't, while 76% did. And they say that doctors were 3 times more likely to recommend a test that increased the irrelevant 5-year survival rates from 68% to 99% than to recommend a test that slashed the much more important death rate from 2 in 1,000 people to 1.6 in 1,000. According to Dr. Virginia A. Moyer, chairs the government-backed U.S. Preventive Services Task Force. In an editorial poll, she says physicians clearly do not understand how to interpret cancer screening statistics themselves. Expecting them to communicate this information to patients is a stretch. So there we have it. The proof is in the pudding, as they say.
Yeah, exactly right. And, of course, we had this on our program weeks ago where they were pounding their chests, how they said that the colon cancer rate had dropped 53% in the last 20 years because of screening. No, it's dropped 53% because 98% of Americans out there are getting selenium. And there's a guy by the name of Dr. Larry Clark from the University of Arizona, MD, PhD, did a double-blind, gold standard medical research test on 1,300 people, 7 years, and found that 200 micrograms of selenium reduced the occurrence, much stronger than the risk, reduced the occurrence of prostate cancer by 69%, colorectal cancer by 64%, and lung cancer, whether you smoked or not, by 39%. And the reason why the reduction in colon cancer has taken place is not because of screening, which doesn't prevent the disease in any way, shape, or form, but in fact is because everybody's taking selenium, and this is what's reduced the rate of colon cancer. And so we said at that time that I'm pounding my chest screaming from the top of my lungs saying, hey, it was dead, doctors don't lie. It got the information out, get people on selenium, and it reduced their cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer risk significantly. And the doctors want to co-opt that and take credit for it, for a test claiming it prevents and cures colon cancer when you do a screen. They're absolute liars. They all should be put in jail for insurance fraud, a federal crime. We'll be back after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Canada. And Robert, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Robert. You're on the air.
Good day, guys.
Sure. How can we help you?
I'm 55. I'm 6 foot tall, 185 pounds. I have Oslo-Weber-Rendu. The modern name is hereditary hemorrhagic telangiectasia. Are you familiar with that at all?
Okay, yeah, I know telangiectasia.
Okay.
Do you have little skin lesions the size of the head of a pin? Do you have internal telangiectasia?
Like the petechiae on the fingertips and the like. Gets into the gastrointestinal system at older age. In 1999, I had testicular cancer. I had a double hernia surgery at the same time. I also had a heart attack in July of that year. That was the year I was 42.
69?
In 1999.
Oh, 99, okay.
Yeah.
And can you tell me what type of heart attack was it? Was it a blood clot, blocked arteries, or was it cardiomyopathy?
They were never able to lock it down because when they did the catheterization, they said they know I had a heart attack, but they couldn't find any evidence of it at all.
Wait a minute, they couldn't find any evidence of a blood clot or clogged arteries, right?
Yeah, no, they could find nothing.
Well, there's two other types of heart attacks, and these guys are probably very ignorant of them. See, all they think about is plugged arteries and blood clots, right?
Right.
So when they do the catheterization, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for parts of the heart that don't have a blood supply, and that's what causes the angina, the pain, and so on, because you're getting a cramp in the heart muscle because there's no oxygen getting to it. I
had pneumonia about 3 or 4 days before this occurrence.
Okay. Now tell me, you ever had like eczema or dermatitis, psoriasis?
No.
Okay. You ever had asthma or chronic bronchitis when you were a kid?
No.
Did you ever have constipation where you needed laxatives or fiber?
No, sir.
Okay. Any complaints about belly pain when you were a kid? Stomach hurts?
No, sir, not at all.
Okay, not at all. Okay. All right.
The closest thing I have is occasionally I have seasonal allergies. Of course, I get nosebleeds from my HHT, but I use a spray with saline and wild oregano oil, and it keeps the infections down. When they did the double hernia, they put a membrane in there, and I think that's causing a recurring bladder infection.
Okay. Now, do you have back problems?
Or on occasion.
Okay. What about your color of your hair? Do you have any gray or white hair?
Oh, yes. My hair is is almost 50% gray, and I have a third cervical vertebrae disc that's collapsing.
That would count as a back problem. Okay. Okay. This bladder thing can be due to the disc collapsing because there's spinal nerves that come out from between the vertebrae in the lumbar area that service the bladder. When they get squeezed, as those discs collapse, the vertebrae get closer together, squeeze those nerves, and your bladder gets weird. So that could be a possibility. Hang on. We'll come back, and we will actually help you out here. We'll give you a great program. We'll be back after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go right back to Canada. And Robert, all right, let me ask you one more question here, and then I'll lay out a program for you. Do you have a history of spider veins, varicose veins, hemorrhoids, or aneurysms?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so the only vascular thing you got here is the telangiectasis.
Right.
Okay. Well, the copper deficiency results in telangiectasis. It's kind of like varicose veins and arteries are the microscopic arteries. And when they get to be a varicose vein, you see these little pinhead-sized dots all over your arms, like petechiae all over your arms and legs and body, trunk and neck, and sometimes people get them on their face and so on. When you have, also, gray hair is caused by a copper deficiency because copper requires a cofactor to turn an amino acid tyrosine into pigment. And then a breakdown of elastic fibers in the body and in connective tissue, blood vessels, as well as disc between the vertebrae, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and so on. So people tend to have tendinitis, cartilage problems, disc collapse, when they have a copper deficiency. And since you have a collapsed disc, white hair, and these telangiectae all over the place, the odds are you have a severe copper deficiency. Well, what I want to do, and this goes by body weight, is get you on what we call no bad stuff. That means no fried foods, no processed meats with nitrates and nitrites, absolutely no oils. That means no margarines, no mayonnaise, no salad dressings, no cooking oils, no meat cooked well done, no burnt animal fats, no carbonated drinks with meals. And the supplement program goes like this, Robert. You have to have 2 of the Healthy Start packs per month. There's 1 Healthy Start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. You weigh 185 is close enough to 200 pounds. That will allow you to have 1 ounce of the Osteo FX Plus at breakfast and dinner, 2 scoops of the Beyond Tangerine Nutri-Crystals at breakfast and dinner. It'll allow you to have 3 of the EFA Pluses at breakfast and dinner. All that will be accomplished by 2 Healthy Start packs per month. Now, I want you to take 9 of our selenium a day, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner. That comes to 3 bottles a month. And the reason is selenium doesn't have a direct effect here, but we have an enormous amount of copper in our selenium because copper is a great cofactor for many things to work, including selenium. So when we say you have a copper deficiency, we want you to take selenium, is because of the copper cofactors added to our selenium product, which you take 9 of those a day. And then I also want you to have what we call the Ultimate Daily Tablets. I want you to take 3 times a day. That'll be 2 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Tablets, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner. And this will give you all the raw materials necessary to support and promote your immune system, to support and promote healthy cardiovascular system, to support and promote maintenance repair of all elastic fibers in your body and pigment in your body. And so in many cases, you can actually see these telangiectae, these little microscopic or even, like I say, the size of a head of pin. They might get half the size. They can actually shrink a little bit. The idea is not to get any new ones. And you can get them in your intestines, you can get them in your liver, you can get them in your eyes, you get them in your brain, you get them everywhere because it's a global breakdown of elastic fibers in microscopic blood vessels because of a copper deficiency. The first sign you're going to get that things are going good is that your disc pain will go away. Because of the disc, I do need to add one more thing here. Glucogel. I want you to take 15 of those capsules a day, 5 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 5 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That'll be 15 a day. That's 2 large bottles, 2 240-count bottles a month of the Glucogel. And they're designed to support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone matrix, and bone itself.
Let's head to Pennsylvania. And Ray, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Ray. You're on the air.
Doctor, about frequent urination, you told me to get my blood sugar number. It's 93.
Okay.
And there's no sugar or infection in my urine.
Okay. Well, that means it's probably...
But I have high blood pressure.
Okay. And are you on medication for the high blood pressure?
No. I didn't know.
Because there's a lot of doctors who give people with high blood pressure, they'll give them diuretics, which makes them pee all day to get rid of fluids to try and lower their blood pressure by dehydrating them. And so I just wanted to make sure that your frequent urination, since we've eliminated diabetes here, the odds are is a prostate problem, but I wanted to make sure you weren't getting diuretics for your high blood pressure. Okay. So you're not on any medication for your blood pressure?
No.
Okay, good. All right, how much do you weigh, Ray?
156.
All right. Okay, well, you want to get rid of bad stuff. No fried foods of any kind. No processed meats with nitrates or nitrites of any kind. If it's a meat of any kind in a container or wrapped with cellophane that has a label on it, ingredients label, you can't eat it. Canned meats you cannot have. Hot dogs, pepperoni, bologna, salami, jerky, Spam. You can't have that kind of thing. And then I want you to give up all oils. No margarines, absolutely no mayonnaise, salad dressings, cooking oils. If you're going to eat canned fish, that's fine, but you got to be packed in water. Mustard or tomato sauce cannot be packed in oils. The supplement program is going to go like this, Ray. And this is going to deal with the blood pressure and the frequent urination. I want you to have 2 Healthy Start packs per month. That'll be 1 dose of each of those 3 products at breakfast. Repeat that at dinner time. That's 1 ounce of the Osteo FX Plus at breakfast and dinner. 2 scoops of the Beyond Tangerine Nutri-Crystals at breakfast and dinner. 3 of the EFA Pluses at breakfast and dinner. That's going to give you all 90 essential nutrients plus another 180 other nutrients and antioxidants, 115 super juices to support your body's ability to maintain and repair itself. And then I want you to add, particularly for the high blood pressure, the Ultimate Daily Tablets. I want you to take 3 of those twice a day as 1 bottle a month of the Ultimate Daily Tablets, and they're designed to support and promote healthy blood flow through even blocked arteries and support and promote healthy blood pressure levels. And then I want you to take what we call our chocolate. You can either take Cocogivity Plus, which is a dark chocolate liquid, has 3,000 antioxidant points, 3,000 ORAC points per ounce, has flavonols, which lower blood pressure without any risk to your kidneys and liver and so on. And you can take 1 or 2 ounces of that a day. If you take 1 ounce, it'd be 1 quart a month. If 2 ounces a day, it'd be 2 quarts a month. This dark chocolate called Cocogivity Plus. We actually have pieces of chocolate the size of a pat of butter. The triple treat chocolate or the triple truffle chocolate, they both have flavonols in them. They're the dark chocolate. And so I would have 6 of those pieces a day, 2 at breakfast, 2 at lunch, 2 at dinner. You can mix and match them. And then lastly, I would have you take what we call Cell Shield RTQ. Cell Shield RTQ. And this is an antioxidant plus it has resveratrol, anti-aging thing. I want you to take 2 of those twice a day. That'll be 2 bottles a month. Oh, yeah, one more thing. You need the Prost FX. Prost FX. I want you to take 9 of those a day, 3 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That has the capacity to support and promote healthy prostate metabolism, support and promote healthy prostate reduction in size, and support and promote healthy urinary patterns. Call me every 2 weeks. I want to know your weight. I want to know your blood pressure levels. And it wouldn't hurt to take your keep testing your urine for blood sugar. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Vermont. And Annette, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Annette. You're on the air.
Hi, Doc. I spoke with you about my brother who had the lymphedema. He has night sweats. They've ruled out all sorts of cancers and mycobacteria. They've ruled all that stuff out. But forgot to mention he does have positive Epstein-Barr, and just want to know if all the suggestions that you gave me, if there's anything else with the Epstein-Barr. And the other thing is they're trying to get him to put him on Rituxan because they want to kill the B cells.
No.
I know that.
No, you don't want to kill B cells.
Interesting thing is, I was listening to one of your lectures on the appendix, and he had an appendectomy when he was a kid.
Yep. Well, you cannot activate B cells into. They're kind of like killer T cells. Killer T cells are activated by the thymus, and killer B cells are actually activated by the appendix. You're exactly right. And so because what's going to happen is he's going to get 10% of the value of B cells. The body keeps throwing those B cells out because those are the things that might be able to help him here because of the Epstein-Barr virus. And they're not getting activated, so the body keeps churning out more B cells. It's not like the B cells are attacking his body or anything. They're just swirling around, and he's only getting 10% of the value because his appendix is gone. Now, let me ask you something else here. Now you've given me another lead here. Does your brother also have any skin problems, eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis?
No, he did. After all this stuff started, he had a couple of times where he broke out in a rash and he got jaundiced.
Okay. Tell me, did he ever have bronchitis or asthma as a kid?
No.
Did he ever have constipation or where he needs laxatives or fiber?
No, he told me no.
Okay, good. All right. I would still put him on a gluten-free diet because anytime you have all this weird stuff happening, doctors will blame it on Epstein-Barr. They'll blame it on Lyme's disease. But let's put him on a gluten-free diet for 90 days. We'll know in 90 days if that's having any effect. It means no wheat, barley, rye, or oats. So every store is full of aisles of gluten-free foods now because 30 to 80% of Americans, depending on the community, have a gluten intolerance. So get him on a gluten-free diet for 90 days. And if he has this dramatic healing and he feels really great, then we know gluten intolerance was the basic root cause. But one other thing, if I did not mention it, because I didn't know about the Epstein-Barr virus, he wants to have our killer biotic. I want him to take 3 of those 3 times a day, be 3 bottles a month. They support the immune system, but they also have antimicrobial activity. There's several herbs in this blend of 8 herbs that actually have antimicrobial activities. They kill viruses, bacteria, fungus, and yeast. And so that's going to kind of complete everything he needs there. But I would put him on a gluten-free diet because everybody has, if they were kissing boys and girls back in high school, everybody has Epstein-Barr virus. It was called the kissing virus, that kind of thing. That's the infectious mononucleosis that all high school kids get. They get it by transmitting it from kissing each other. And so everybody has antibodies for Epstein-Barr virus. And like Lyme's disease, doctors use it as a trash can disease. In other words, if they can't figure out something like cancer, arthritis, heart disease, or diabetes, they're lost. And so they just give it a label they're comfortable with. Oh, he's got antibodies for Epstein-Barr. It must be the Epstein-Barr. Let's give him the killer biotic, and let's get him on a gluten-free diet, and then call me every 2 weeks and give me a progress report. We'll be back after these messages. We're back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joe Wallach here for FDI Youngevity and 90 for Life Crusade. We do have lines open. Give us a call toll-free, 1-888-379-2552. And Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Lyndhurst, New Jersey. And Harriet, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Harriet. You're on the air.
Oh. Hi, how are you?
Okay, how can I help you?
Well, I'm calling up for progress reports for me, my husband, and my brother-in-law, Dennis.
Okay. Fire away.
Okay, for who do you want to hear from?
Just start, because we only have moments here, so you got to start.
Okay, I'll start with me. My COPD is gone.
Now, how long did you have COPD?
I had about 2 or 3 years.
And how long have you been on our program?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know if it was from... But I've been trying to call up periodically, and I couldn't get through. This is the first time in a long time I was able to get through.
Okay, so when did you, so you've had it for a couple of years, and did you notice benefit in 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks or what?
For Pete's sake. What? Oh. As you asked me a question before, my daughter was interrupting, so I couldn't hear what you said. Hello?
Did you notice benefit? Yeah, did you notice benefit in 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or 6 weeks?
I say almost immediately.
Okay, now isn't that amazing?
I say about 3 or 4 days I started feeling better.
Okay, now isn't that amazing?
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, well, I mean, how many doctors had you seen besides your family practitioner? You had to go to a pulmonary specialist, right?
Yes, I did.
And were you getting better? Were you getting worse? Staying the same?
Right.
Yep. Okay, so why don't you do is stay on the program you're on, but do call me more frequently. Now go on to the next one. How about your brother or your husband?
Okay, my brother-in-law, he was a diabetic. His diabetes is gone.
Okay, how long was he a diabetic?
Oh, my God, for so many years.
10 years, 20 years?
I don't know how many years, about maybe 13 years or something like that.
And then,
I'm not quite sure.
How long did it take before his diabetes was gone?
I'd say about 2-3 months. He was on.
Okay. Now, what I want him to do is, put together, I need, that kind of information, what his A1C hemoglobin was, what it is now, what his fasting blood sugar was, what it is now. We're putting together a couple of papers on diabetes, and we need as many of these kind of testimonies as we can for this paper. So if he would get that all together, and you can call in and give that to Doug next time you call in, okay?
I got more to tell you.
Yeah, well, tell me some more.
He was a size 44 waist. He went down to a size 34.
Wow, so he lost 10 inches off his belly.
I don't know if he did or not, but I didn't say anything about that.
Well, that's 10 inches, 44 to 34. That's 10 inches.
Yep.
That's very good.
And not only that, but he had high blood pressure. His blood pressure isn't high anymore.
That's gone.
He had high cholesterol, and guess what? That's not
gone.
high anymore neither.
Now, is he happy?
He's happy. He's very happy.
Yeah, well, he should be running up and down the street yelling, telling everybody.
Well, he's busy working, but between him and me, we told so many people, and we have so many people call you up. Some of them listen to you, some of them don't.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Well, even Jesus couldn't save everybody, right?
I'm glad I listened to you. Wait.
Well, that's the best he could say on this program. You're glad you listened to us.
Oh, yeah. Like I said before, my COPD is gone.
Your brother-in-law's high blood pressure and diabetes is gone. He's lost pounds and inches.
Talking about now.
Did you have a third one? We got time for a quick third one.
Diabetes. I didn't have diabetes or high blood pressure.
No, that was your brother-in-law.
That was my brother-in-law.
Do you have anybody else? Your husband, anybody else?
Yes, my husband, he stopped getting boils. And he also lost a lot of weight.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate all those great testimonies. Get them written up and talk to Doug and get them faxed into us so we can get them into our scientific papers. Thank you so much, Eric. God bless. Keep up the great work.